Bah! Trixie is exhausted from performing feats beyond imagination. Begone with you until morning. The halls of 99 echoed around me, with the screams of dying stable as I lay in the center of the atrium. 1,000 years seemed to pass, the wall rusting before my eyes, the bodies moldering, liquefying, black fungus spreading from their corpses as the metal pitted and corroded. Acidic water hissed and bubbled in pools that slowly ate their way through the floor and covered the walls in a caustic sheen. Through it all I lay there, not dead. I didn't get that blessing. I couldn't move, didn't want to move. I simply listened to the dripping, the hissing, the groan of stressed metal, the clutter of breaking glass, of tumbling ceramics. The pressure forced the burning chemical I'd unleashed into every pore of my body like countless fiery razors. Still, I lived. I didn't deserve to die. That was for better ponies, like my friends. I wasn't alone, though. Not alone. He was there too, with his hat and watery pale eyes. He hadn't come for me. He wouldn't take me. I'd broken, but I still wasn't gone. I just wanted to die, move into the ever after, become whatever ponies become when life was over and done with. But he wouldn't take me. My stable, my mother, my friends, but not me. Is this hell? I whispered. If so, that'd make me the devil, he asked in return. There was nothing I could say as the pressure built more and more. Nothing to do but wait, lie there for another 1,000 years. I dropped like a rag doll to levels below as the floor rotted out beneath me, and the level below that, and the next. Then finally, I landed in the liquefied remains of Stable 99. Only the pitted feces-covered metal shell of the stable remained, the armor keeping the wasteland out and the poison in. Submerged talismans still bubbled, still faintly pumping out more and more the gas. The dealer sat on a long, jagged spur of metal, resembling a severed gray wing. The vast shell groaned and creaked above me, beneath me, within me. From far above, a massive stable door, sealed by centuries of corrosion, gave. A hurricane wind blasted the rubble-cloaked tunnel beyond clear. A shriek like the screams of so long ago. The wind slackened and died. With one final bending, breaking, tearing cry, that armored shell gave way, and the hilltop collapsed inward, as if under the hoof of an angry goddess. Finally, I thought, annihilation with a smile. "She's waking up! Sedate her!" Somber cried distantly. "We did. She's not responding to the Med-X," another answered. Distant, blurry lights entered my vision, and pain. But I was used to pain by now. I reached for that blur, pushing through the darkness. If I was alive, then Glory might be as well. All my friends might still be alive. I couldn't lie here and do nothing. A wave pushed me back towards the black, but I refused to succumb. Sweet Celestia, she's still waking up. Bluebell! I cast it already, the mare panted breathlessly. It's not working. I could see faces now, bloody faces in paper masks. Unicorns. They had scalpels and little bloody scissors hovering over me. My chest and gut burned as I pulled together my focus. One unicorn's horn flashed, trying to push me back into Stable 99. I fought that urge to sleep, to dream. I'd kill them all. Teal eyes widened in shock as I stared back into them, pulling together a bullet spell as I slowly sat upright. What is she doing? Hold her down! Get her under now! I won't let you. I choked, around a tube in my mouth. My horn glowed white as I readied the shot in her head. Then hooves grabbed my shoulders and forced me back down. I saw bucks in filthy white coats, stained and spotted in blood. Glory! I rasped around the tube. Glory! I shouted, then choked. Get a memory orb, the unicorn mare ordered as I struggled. I felt something inside me tear, but I ignored it. It didn't matter how much I hurt now. I had to get free. I had to save my friends. Security, calm down. We're trying to help you. A lie. They were Enclave, or Sanguine, or some pony that was going to sell me out, betray me. My horn flashed as I struggled, and one of the bucks yelped as the bullet bit into his flank. Some pony blinded me with a rag across my eyes. I fired wildly, desperately. Another sedated surge washed through me like a blanket, the lethargy blurring away the rest of my senses. A glassy sphere was pressed to my horn, but I resisted. Fought. I had to get free. I had to help my friends. Glory. I had to help Glory. Come on, you stubborn idiot, the unicorn mare said, grinding the orb against my horn. Let me save you. Not me, you idiot. Help her. Her wing. Sweet goddesses, her wing. Please. I tried to fire another bullet, but my concentration slipped away. There was a spark. No. Glory. I had to find Glory and all my friends. Glory. I choked, feeling myself cut open and my organs exposed to the chilly air. Then my horn spasmed, and the connection was made, and the world faded away. Glory. I didn't want to be here in this mare. I wanted nothing to do with this place. I needed to find Glory and put her wing back on. I needed to find Rampage and discover just what was inside of her. To do something to help Lacuna recover from that horrible doll-like state. But instead I was stuck here. And worst of all, I felt two wings. I can't believe we're going to go to the Grand Galloping Gala, Twist squealed. She was wearing a green dress which, despite the mint leaves around the collar, looked vaguely like forest camouflage. Oh, I get to wear the pretty dress, and have the pretty mare. And look, my hooves are painted, she squealed as she danced on the sparkling ruby hooves in glee. Best night ever. I could only wonder how much brushing and blowing had taken to get her curly mane to lay flat. I suspected that magic was employed. Famous last words, Vanity replied, smiling indulgently at the ladies and making Twist pout a little. The handsome buck wore a pristine white dress uniform. If your night is pleasant, then consider yourself fortunate. The gala has a well-deserved reputation for driving mares to drink. Do we have to attend? Palm said softly, shuffling and fidgeting in a deep midnight blue dress decorated with tiny enchanted flecks of sapphire. Her white mane obscured her face as she looked worriedly at the door, chewing softly at the end of a lock. Twist sighed and brushed it out of her mouth, making the delicate black unicorn blush slightly. The princess herself is decorating us, so the answer is probably yes, Jetstream said as she stood before the mirror and carefully nudged her dark hair into place with a brush. The orange and gold dress made her look like she was on fire, a bit too garish for my... What was I thinking? Why did I give a fuck about the dress right now when Glory needed me? Besides, I had never worn a big, frilly party dress. The blue Pegasus grinned over at Big Macintosh and Apple Snack, standing calmly in crisp pressed uniforms. Besides, half our boys are escorts to the ministry mares. It's not like they can just skip out. She looked over at Stonewing, who seemed to positively vibrate in anticipation, and gave a soft sigh. I can't believe you set me up with your sister. She's going to hate me, Applesnack muttered as he brushed his shaggy tan mane aside. Couldn't you have been your sister's escort? He asked the big red buck with a frown. But Big Macintosh just gave an easy chuckle. Nope. How'd it look if she was escorted around by her big brother? He rolled his green eyes towards the door, his grass stem still sticking out of his lips. Besides, she needed me with one of her friends. Still don't see why I don't get no ministry mare, Doof said dully. It was like seeing a cinder block in a dress uniform, and his perception was already starting to show off. It'd be nice to go out with a pretty mare like them. Half the marauders shared a look, and thankfully no pony laughed. There was a knock on the door, and a lilac mare poked her head in. Is every pony ready? I need you gentle colts to come with me, please. The princesses are about to make their entrance. Big Macintosh, Apple Snack, and Vanity all trotted out. Stonewing brought up the rear, still almost half flying, half vibrating across the floor. I'd like to go to the gala with a ministry mare, too. Echo shuddered. The yellow buck looked positively tiny out from under the heavy communications equipment. It was nearly stepped on as Doof snorted angrily and plodded out the door. Trust me, Echo. Those mares are nothing but trouble, Jetstream said sourly. And they're missing out by not having a great guy like you at their side. He brightened up immensely at that. Well, we should probably get to the party, too, Twist said, sashaying after the others. Jetstream trotted to Palms, giving the black unicorn a little nudge on the flank. Come on, Palms. Let's go to the party. I'd rather not. I haven't done anything that deserves honoring, she whispered, her silver eyes looking into Jetstream's. Are you sure I can't just stay here till it's all over? I don't like crowds. It won't be so bad. Vanity says that it'll probably just be boring aristoponies talking to one another, and once you have your decoration, you can go. All right, she muttered. I'm sorry, though. Reluctantly, the pair exited the room together. The Grand Galloping Gala was positively spectacular affair, that I might have enjoyed a great deal more if I hadn't been trapped in here while my friends were... Mentally, I was climbing the walls, trying to find some way, any way, to get myself out of this memory. I needed to help them, to beg for forgiveness. This was almost worse than leaving them to die. They'd been hurt following me. I'd never seen more stuffed shirts and fancy dresses in my life. The gala was clearly the social event of the year, even more so given that, from the snippets of conversation rising around us, this was apparently Luna's first. It seemed that there was more than a little apprehension from the aristoponies, given that the gala would devote into a common carnival slog. Could you imagine? How God! We trot past the unicorn buck, with a unicorn mare on either side of him. I wished I could plunge that sword into his chest and save 2 lives and 1 soul. How dare she pick him over me? I'm the eldest. It should have been me, he muttered to the bored-looking mares on either side of him. Trumpets blared, and formal processional music began. Twilight Sparkle entered in a splendid gown of purple and swirling silver galaxies. Macintosh trotted at her side, his eyes steady and his lips curled with a casual, confident smile. They approached a wide central throne dais. Applejack, dressed in a surprisingly normal businesslike attire, entered alongside Applesnack, the former doing her best to smile as casually as her brother, while the latter did his best not to be sick. From the doorway flew Rainbow Dash in a dress that could almost pass for a uniform, a grinning Stonewing beside her. There was some applause and cheering from the crowd, which the ministry mare obviously relished. Jetstream just gave a little sigh. Pinkie Pie bounced in on her hooves, with an escort on either side. The buck and a mare was decorated as formally as 2 clowns could possibly dress, but the rainbow wig still killed it. Then I was astonished to see Fluttershy enter in a simple white gown decorated with pearls and rubies. The design was vaguely reminiscent of a nurse's uniform. At her side, walked with pain evident in his face, was the scarred Goldenblood. More than once he broke stride, coughing for breath as she waited patiently with a concerned and tender expression. Of course, that was how she always looked. Rarity and Vanity entered with a fanfare, and almost every pony save one, gave a collective gasp of approval at her exquisite gown. The only pony who didn't share their approval ground his teeth furiously behind Jetstream. Vanity, a familiar sword belted at his side, somehow made the white dress uniform even more splendid. A few seconds, he gazed straight at Jetstream, and I knew that he would have rather been at her side than by the side of this magnificent unicorn mare. Every noble muttered in complete approval, for here were 2 equians that embodied the image of all that was good and noble lineage. Truly, there were no fairer or more lovely ponies in all the world.